Good evening, everyone. Today is September 25th. This is the Traffic and Transportation for Community Board 8. I would like to welcome everyone, and we're starting off this year with some new members on Traffic and Transportation. My name is Debbie Allen. I'm the Traffic and Transportation Chair. Bob?
Bob Bender, and I'm the vice chair.
Other members?
I'm Deborah Harris, I'm a new member.
Hi, I'm Margaret Della. Member.
So we're just gonna do roll call.
Okay.
Deborah Allen, present. There. Okay. Bob Bedford.
Here.
Deborah
Deborah
Harris.
Harris here.
Margaret Della here.
Ingrid.
Absent.
Sylvia Alexander.
Absent.
You have a quorum. You have a quorum. So we have, minutes from June 4th, 2025. Any questions or concerns about the minutes?
I had a question for the resolution on city bikes with the new addresses.
Okay.
I don't recall what
Reach the, we know what they say.
is. I did see them in the resolution. And so I was hoping to recall how that transpired.
You're talking about at the committee meeting, you don't recall, or at the full board meeting?
At
you
the-
don't recall?
At the committee meeting. So at the committee meeting, I understood that the office and the committee chair would meet with DOT to review new locations over the summer. So that's where I thought
We did.
things,
We met over the summer. We met over the summer to review what would be possible sites. We received multiple input from community members and also Assembly and Dinowitz over the summer. And we still have not received any response with any of the suggestions that was put forth. And we still haven't received any information on the data that we requested on city bikes in certain areas in Community Board 8.
And that's on your agenda, I think. to
Yes,
speak
it is,
about Tonight.
as old business.
So Debbie, I have a question too. So the locations that are in the resolution from June, those are the ones that everybody is comfortable with? I mean, I know there are additional ones that we're proposing too.
There were several that was emailed to city that forth during the summer to do a walkthrough. We did a walkthrough. And they have not given us feedback on the walkthrough and what they would agree upon at this point. But there are multiple emails and communication to DOT and City Bike with suggestions that we've and more than 70% were rejected for either the side. Specific sites with data to say whether or not could we relook at how many bikes that they have at those sites and whether they would be appropriate for our community.
Yeah, no, what I just wanted to clarify was that the sites that are mentioned in the resolution, which is a limited number of sites, those are the ones that everybody felt were okay. There were no strong objections to those sites.
No,
Correct.
but DOT rejected those sites, so
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And-
Well, I have a question, and I know this is old business, but in reference to like North Riverdale, because I'm like 262nd Street. How far north are any of these city blocks? Because the only time that I see them is on two
The
forty second.
63rd. There's a map.
Yeah, there's a map in the presentation. Uh,
That was,
Okay.
that could be potentially approved or is
No,
pending? They rejected it?
there were some that I don't recall all the rejections, but we went Broadway to 63rd, we went multiple sites.
Oh, wow.
there's
Yes,
22 proposed sites in the presentation.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So the committee here and the board, had issue with some of those sites. And that's the tour that we did over the summer. We, everyone made, recommendations. We're waiting to get the response, so I would say, once we get the response, we could map out all the locations again for everybody, and we know where we stand.
Okay, I just wanted to be clear, cause I thought I saw a prep document that had some of those recommended. Addresses, and I just wanted to be sure that we did not vote on those were just discussed over the summer, correct?
there was yes,
Okay,
because the other one wouldn't go.
Okay.
So we just wanna keep meeting with DOT and City Bike to see what will work here in Riverdale.
okay.
All right, so that leads us, back to the minutes. So we have to approve the minutes.
Yes,
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve.
I'm gonna approve because I don't know what this.
any questions?
That's fine.
So we made a motion, we agree that we're approving the minutes for June 4th with any necessary corrections. All in favor?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, okay, so it's unanimous.
Unanimous. Thank you, Department of Design and Construction. I realize you're doing a presentation this evening. And the first presenter will be on the safe routes to schools near PS 307.
And who am I sharing the screen with?
Hi, good evening, Community Board 8. My name is Janelle. Nice to finally be able to see you all from DDC Intergovernmental Affairs. Tonight's presentation, HWCSCH4D, Safe Routes to Schools, will be done by Judy Garcia, the Community Construction Liaison. So if you can share the permission with her so she can share the screen, that would be great.
You should be able to share at this point.
Thank you so much.
Mhm.
All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Judy Garcia. I'm the Community Construction Liaison for Project HWCS CH4D. And we just wanted to present, just so that you could get a little bit of a background on the project, just an overview, and what are the plans for the project. So we'll dive right in. Oh, sorry. So as I mentioned, we'll talk about why the project is necessary, the impacts that it'll have on the community, and our role in the outreach and notification regarding the project to ensure that everyone is well informed. I'm sorry, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. And everyone can see the slides.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So why the project is necessary. If you take a look at
I
these
wanna
pic,
put it in slideshow mode though, so that we just see the presentation.
what was that? I'm sorry.
You could put it in the slideshow mode, so we just see the slideshow instead of all the other stuff around it.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Oh,
There is this.
Judy, on the bottom right, Next
Yeah,
to
was
the one that looks like a screen. Keep going. Keep going. That one. Yep, that one.
Okay, here we go. Great. So if you take a look at these pictures, these irregular intersections are some examples of why we need the work in the area. There's dangerous turns, poor visibility, and long pedestrian crossings. So the goal is to improve these intersections for pedestrians and especially the children in the area to be able to get to and from school safely. In terms of community benefits, this is an example of what it would look like after the work is done. And here we have a sample image of an improved island and a sidewalk extension. The island shortens the crossing distance while the sidewalk extension calms traffic by narrowing the roadway. For this project, we're also going to be installing new catch basins and water main upgrades. So this is just a representation of what that looks like for when the work is done. And the project is set to take about 3 years, set to start in fall of 2025 and be completed by summer 2028. And the budget for this project is 23 million. So the project will happen in 3 phases. The preliminary work in the beginning includes the utilities portion, which is when Con Ed or Verizon, National Grid, et cetera, do any of the work that is needed before the project actually starts. And this is also the outreach phase where I go out to the community to inform everyone of the upcoming construction work. And this also allows time for the permits and scheduling necessary for the project to begin. In terms of in the ground work, that's when the water main portion of the work is done. So saw cutting and trench setup is completed and installed. And also DEP has a program where a small number of properties will be included in DEP's lead pipe replacement program, where DEP is offering to replace private water service lines that are made of lead or steel eligible properties at no cost to homeowners. So the service lines will be replaced with a new safer copper line. So if your property is eligible, this program can save you thousands of dollars. So that would be something that you can reach out to me for, and I can provide further information at a later time. And lastly, the above ground work includes all of the reconstruction that we're going to be doing on the street, corner reconstruction, pedestrian ramps, and traffic signal work, just to name a few. So this is one of the locations, and this is at West Kingsbridge Road at Sedgwick Avenue near PS 307. The green shaded areas that you see on here are proposing a sidewalk extension, and the gray area covers existing corner and sidewalk reconstruction. This location is West Kingsbridge Road from Webb Avenue to University Avenue. And again, the green shaded areas are for sidewalk extension. The purple proposes a new bus pad, and the gray is for a sidewalk reconstruction, corner and sidewalk reconstruction. Kingsbridge Road from Reservoir Avenue to Davidson Avenue. The green is the sidewalk extension. The purple, again, another bus pad here, and the blue is a sidewalk reduction, while the yellow triangle is for an existing Green Street area.
And that will remain, the existing Green Street area will remain a Green Street?
Yes, they're just gonna, I guess, spruce it up. And this location indicating Eames Place from Webb Avenue to University Avenue is just a long stretch, again, proposing a sidewalk extension. And then this is a Google Maps view of the area, just so that you could get a better understanding of where we will be. So if you see
Excuse me,
along Sedgwick Avenue, Webb Avenue, University, Reservoir.
Excuse me, can I ask a question? On the previous slide, is that a bus route along Kingsbridge? That singular lane, will that also be a bus lane in both directions? I believe it is, right?
It'd be not.
Yeah, along Kingsbridge Road.
Where the green area goes along that long
Yeah,
stretch?
so- Yeah, so that's the sidewalk extension, right? And
Yes.
then that's also a bus route, correct?
Mm-hmm.
There's no is there currently a bus route there now and will it be removed?
I would have to inquire about that with DOT. I'm not sure if any bus routes are going to be rerouted at this point. I'm not sure. I'd rather ask and get back to you than give the wrong answer. So let me just jot that down. So the schedule for this project, the work hours will be 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday, and Saturdays and Sundays if necessary. And of course, DOT will follow any permit events that are happening in the area and embargoes. The contractors will maintain a safe work site and maintain one lane for emergency and through traffic at all times. The contractor will make temporary parking and driveway restrictions when necessary, and we will make sure to notify the area impacted. Garbage collection coordination will be made if necessary, and individuals with special needs should contact myself or the field staff, and we will work to minimize any inconvenience.
Sorry, Ms. Garcia.
Yes.
Hi, we sort of kind of lost connection and we were talking about the bus route concern. So you said you're gonna follow up with DOT?
DOT, yes.
Okay, sort of, okay. Okay, go ahead, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
It's one page 15 ready.
You said it was a 10-minute.
I think this one was done. And this is my contact information. I can be reached via email. My cell phone number is on here as well. And we can add anyone to the email list so that when we send out all of our notifications, you are the first ones to know. So please reach out if you have any questions.
Question about stormwater, so there's gonna be something specific with.
So these are some sample communications that we used throughout the project to inform the community. The project information card is just a broad overview of the project, the schedule, the work hours, and my contact information, of course. The advisory is distributed to the public 72 hours in advance and then confirmed with a 24-hour notice of when the work will be done in the area. We also send out newsletters to provide updates on the project progress. And we will provide a weekly bulletin. It's usually distributed on Fridays to highlight the following work week schedule. So we send it out Friday, try to do it in the morning, the latest the afternoon, so that everyone is aware of what the work week looks like starting Monday morning.
I have a question. In relation to the homeowners that may be eligible for the lead pipe, how will you be communicating that information? And is it time sensitive? Is it based on an application or them reaching out to you directly? Is there gonna be a mass you know, not advertising, but informing the homeowners of this project that's going on and what they may be eligible to receive?
I believe it's based on eligibility, and I would have to reach out to my department regarding how to further go about it. So the first step is eligibility.
Hi, sorry, this is Effie from DEP. So I'm sorry to interrupt. No, the lead service line replacements, right? We currently, DEP has separate contracts in the Bronx for lead service line replacements, and they are done in specific areas. They're contracted. We've been in the Bronx now for a year doing lead service line replacements. But what we're also doing is when there's upcoming sewer or water main work, and we see lead service lines, we will replace them as well. We will have DDC's contractor replace them as well. Eligible property owners will receive a letter from the agency notifying them that they're eligible for that. And we also need, their approval for us to do this work, because every property has two service lines. One of them is that water line, and it's your responsibility as a property owner. So we need your approval. And once we have that, then, I'm sure DDC also does a little follow-up, and then they do that replacement. But it's not something you can sign up for. You will be notified if you have a lead service line, and we're there to do that changeover.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I have a second, another question, just in terms of for the schools that is there now, is it gonna be enhanced safety since all this construction is going on? Will there be enhanced safety for the kids crossing the street and so on and so
Yes.
forth? Parents?
Yes, there will be flaggers on site at all times while there is construction going on.
I have a question. For those bus islands, it was hard for me to tell. Are you taking away a driving lane when you're putting those in? And are you taking away parking spots when you're adding those in?
At this time, I'm going to ask Yarrow to jump in with these more technical questions. Yarrow is the resident engineer of the project. Yarrow, are you on?
Yes, I am. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
We'll have to look at the each location. Not sure if the bump outs will grant removal of any parking spots. And it's on there's quite a bit of resurfacing work going on this location. So, and what I saw along between the blocks, there's not a whole lot of removal of it's a little bit bumping out the sidewalk. So if there are any parking spots, maybe they will be affected, maybe not. I don't know.
Can you let us know so the board can, know what's actually happening here? And is it 2 lanes of traffic where this is? Is the bus lane gonna be removing a lane of traffic at this point, or will there continue to be 2 lanes? I think that's what I saw briefly in the picture.
I'm not really sure. The West King Bridge, it looks like it's a 2-way.
Is it one lane each way, or?
It looks like they're making a bus lane.
Yeah, I wasn't clear on that.
Yeah, it's currently 2 lanes
Currently
in both
2
directions.
Yes, 2 in both.
Mhm.
So will it remain 2 lanes in both directions for cars and vehicles?
Yaro?
Yes.
Yeah, this is Kirolo Salib. I'm the construction EIC. Just checking if anyone from DDC Design can answer this question. Is anyone from DDC Design attending this meeting?
Well, I'm looking at the signing and signage and striping on the first. It looks like it's two-way traffic on most of the roads that we are affecting.
Right, so it's two-way, but is it 2 lanes each way? That's my question. Are you removing any traffic lanes for the bus?
So
Well,
this is Franco Massidi from DDC. I'm Deputy Director. So you're asking if at the end, once the construction is completed, if you have a 2-lane roadway now, like on Kingsbridge, 2 lanes in each direction, would you still have 2 lanes in each direction? That's the question.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. You will have 2 lanes in both directions. During construction, obviously there's going to be some lanes that are going to be occupied for construction, but there will always be two-way traffic. Maybe not necessarily 4 lanes, but there will always be two-way traffic on the Kingsbridge and most of the larger roads.
Yeah.
So
And at the end, when it's all done, on Kingsbridge, West Kingsbridge Road, you have two lanes and a parking, either direction.
Okay, because on the next slide, the one after that, this PS3, the next slide, it looks like it's a designated.
Is this one the one you're talking about?
That's Ames, that's one way.
On that
Next
slide,
one.
no, that's,
This one?
no, I'm sorry. The slide I was, it was on,
But I'm sorry.
slide number 11 then, slide number 11. That one, it looks, no, that one, yeah. It looks like there's a designated bus lane.
That's the extended sidewalk.
No, Ames, there's no bus, it's a one, it's a,
Something's written there.
it
so
looks
that's
like
not
it's a
bus.
bump,
That's not
No, there's
Kingsbridge
something
Road,
written
that's
on-
Ames Place.
yeah.
That is Ames Place. It's it's not a dedicated, it's not a dedicated bus lane. I think when you mean by dedicated bus lane, sometimes you have those red lanes that
Correct, that's what I'm
yeah,
talking about.
that's not what we have here. It's not a dedicated bus lane.
Okay, all right, because there's something
Yeah.
written there, so I wasn't 100% sure.
Yeah, the middle one is where the traffic goes, and on the sides, you have parking on both sides.
Yeah, this is Kate from DOT. The marking on the road there, it's a little tight. It reads bump and it's to warn about a speed bump on that road in front of the school.
Oh, that's what that says, okay. Gotcha. Is there any other questions from the committee? No.
Are we frozen again?
We might be.
Can you hear us?
We can hear
Yes.
you.
Yeah, you're
Yes.
fine.
So she's
Yep.
asking if there was a study done to see the impact on BX9, because it's a major route for that bus that many people take.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question? Oh,
Yes, my question is whether a study has been done to see how the construction is gonna impact the passengers who rely on the BX9 bus.
Are they gonna reroute the bus and do
I
a?
don't know. That's the question.
yeah. Is the bus line on Kingsbridge?
That's a major
Yes,
thoroughfare,
yes,
so it
yes.
comes from, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so the bus route is not going to be rerouted. Whenever we have a major thoroughfare like that and their buses, the bus route is maintained. There may be times where if a bus stop needs to be relocated, we work with the MTA to temporarily relocate the bus stop maybe to the following the corner, the following block or block before, but the bus route itself will not be affected.
Okay. Only delayed.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, but there was no study done,
No,
no study, okay.
well, they're not rerouting, so
Not
I guess
rerouting,
they
okay.
wouldn't do a study.
Any other questions from the committee? Any questions from anybody in the community that are online? If you can raise your hand.
That's my problem, all right, let me do this, sorry. Let me see if anyone's raising their hand. No. Okay.
So there's no one in the community that have any questions about this presentation?
No.
No?
Okay, no.
Okay, so let's make a motion.
I'll make a motion
To do what?
to approve the.
I have a question.
Okay, John?
Yeah, I'm sorry, my connection dropped out for like 10, 15 minutes. And so I don't know exactly what you talked about. Could you just like explain the different intersections you're talking about? I don't know if there's anything that that has to do with me.
Okay,
Well,
so
we can post this to the community when the meeting is done, the presentation. So you could review it. If you do have questions, you can email the board. But they just went through the whole presentation. They shouldn't have to do it again.
Well, no, I'm not asking for that again. But anyway, so you can email me the images, and then if I have questions, I can email you back.
Definitely. We'll post it on our website. As soon as DDC says we can post the presentation, they're gonna send it to us to post. Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, back to my motion to approve the proposal.
Approve.
Or second, or?
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody in agreement?
Yeah.
Yes.
in Favor?
Thank you.
Okay, it's approved.
We approve the Safety Route to School Phase 4.
Mm-hmm. We'll bring this before the full board for a vote and send you a resolution letter to follow after October 30th.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a second presentation from DDC on project HWS 406, West 254th Street Safety Plan, updated design.
Who do I need to share the screen with for that?
Hi, Farah. You'll be sharing it with Hao Lu. She's the one who should be, who has the presentation.
Okay, and I did want to add, if they could still follow up on any, we would like to know if any parking spaces will be lost though in that last presentation. We still would like to know that. But okay, I'm sorry, who am I sharing with?
Actually, Wing, W-I-N-G, he's gonna present.
Got you. Okay.
And what was the name again?
Wing, W-I-N-G.
There we
Oh,
go.
Wing, am I sharing with?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Got it. Okay. Should be able to share them.
Do you see the presentation on the screen?
Yes, we could see it.
All right. Okay. All right. Good evening. Oh, you're saying you want to say something?
Oh no, I said yeah, we can see it. You can see your
Okay.
screen.
All right. All right. Good. All right. Good evening. My name is Wing Sung, and I'm from Parsons Transportation Group, which is a DDC design consultant. Myself and a few others will be presenting this project, this DDC project tonight, HWX 406, the Northwest Bronx School Safety Improvements. Then here's a little overview of the contents that will be presented tonight. First, we'll go over the project background and some of the existing conditions, and then some of the temporary safety improvements that were recently implemented. And then we'll go on to present some of the capital improvements, and then give an update on the design progress and next steps and schedule, and then provide some information on the community outreach, and then finally give an update on the street acquisition. So this is a capital project that's under the DOT school safety program, which deals with school improvements in your schools. The intent of this project is to improve pedestrian safety and accessibility to schools in the Northwest Bronx area. The first school is the Salintar Equitable Riverdale Academy, also called the SAR Academy, that's located on West 254th Street. And the second school is the Judith K. White Woodlawn School, also known as the PS13 at East 237th Street. So for this presentation, we're just going to concentrate on the SAR Academy as it's located in Community Board 8. So a little background on West 254th Street is the main street for students to access the SAR Academy, as well as commuters to access the Metro North Riverdale station. Currently, between Railroad Terrace and Arlington Avenue, the roadway is not built up to DOT's safety and accessibility standards, with missing sidewalks, missing curbing, which forces pedestrians to walk on the roadway, and also the lack of ADA compliant ped ramps around it. And also the roadway is in poor condition, exhibiting some rutting, cracking, and potholes. And then in late 2023, DOT implemented the temporary measures, which included a delineated sidewalk on the north side that's basically delineated by flexible bollards, granite blocks, and some planters. And then they also implemented an all-way stop control at 2 intersections at, I believe it was Sycamore Avenue and Independence Avenue. And then also the sewer and water mains along West 254th Street and Palisades were determined to be undersized and also showing signs of aging, and they will be replaced as part of this project. So what I have here is a rendering of the proposed capital improvements. This is a view of the intersection of West 254th Street at Independence, just showing some of the proposed improvements that will include, there will be graded sidewalks on each side. There's going to be ADA compliant ped ramps at all corners. And then the roadway is also going to be reconstructed to a good state of repair. And what's not shown in this rendering, but will also be part of the capital improvements, will be street trees, plant strips. They're going to upgrade the lighting and the signage. And then here is the plan view of the proposed improvements. What we're going to do is the project will propose a continuous sidewalk along the north and the south side of West 254th from Railroad Terrace all the way to Arlington, connecting to the existing sidewalk that's there right now. And the roadway, the existing configuration will be preserved. Basically, it's going to be one-way westbound from Railroad Terrace to Palisades, and then between Palisades to Arlington will be two ways. Oops, sorry about that. And then, as mentioned before, due to the existing sewer and water mains being undersized and aging, those will be replaced as well. We are proposing about 3,200 linear feet of water main to be replaced between Railroad Terrace to Riverdale Avenue. And then we are also reconstructing and installing new sanitary and storm sewers, about 1,300 linear feet from Rivercrest Road all the way to Palisade Avenue. And from Palisade Avenue, it's going to be between 254th and 255th Street. And then to improve drainage, we're going to install new catch basins and as well as green infrastructure all over the project limits. Now here's a little design progress. So recently designed packages were sent out to utilities and agencies in July of 2025. And an alignment meeting was held in August 25th of 2025. And then some of the components of the project, such as trees, DDC had a walkthrough of parks, and it was determined that 19 trees will be removed for design purposes. But 21 new trees will be 21 new trees will be planted along West 254th Street. And then for street lighting, we are currently coordinating with Con Edison for the wood pole locations. And then at the same time, we are performing lighting calculations to ensure that all intersections meet the Vision Zero requirements. We are also working on the maintenance and protection of traffic. We want to minimize disruption as much as possible. Right now, construction is anticipated to proceed block by block, maintaining just one-way traffic flow whenever possible, and then detouring the other direction to nearby roads. And then also, we do not want to disrupt the existing bus service that takes the Hudson B link that takes commuters to and from the Riverdale Metro North station. So we are coordinating with Metro North right now to develop bus detour plans. And then for landmarks, we don't anticipate on impacting any historical landmarks. And we recently submitted the LPC report in August 8th of 2025. And then the next steps, basically we're gonna continue coordination with the private utilities, and then due to the new sewer work that was introduced to this project later on, which is on Palisades between 254th and 255th Street, we will be performing a tree inventory and proposing new tree plantings. And we will schedule a walkthrough of parks eventually. And then for street lighting, once we're done with the lighting calculations in coordination with Con Edison, we will coordinate with New York City Street Lighting for their review and for their approval. And for the maintenance protection, we are continuing to develop plans and minimize traffic disruptions where possible. And we will also have to coordinate with OCMC to get approval for the MPT plans and the traffic stipulations. And then the land acquisition process will continue with community outreach that's scheduled in fall of 2025. And then we are also developing a stormwater pollution prevention plan, and we'll coordinate with the DDC Office of Environmental and Hazmat Services. So this is a estimated timeline, so it's subjected to change. The project was at 40% design completion, and now we are headed towards 75% completion by this winter, and then 100% by the summer of 2026. And then from there, the project will go into bid by fall of 2026. And then the project will get awarded in the spring of 2027. And then we'll go into construction in the summer of 2027. In the summer of 2027, and is expected to last for 3 years. All right, and then from here, I believe Maria, are you taking over for the community outreach?
Yes, hello. Good evening, everyone. So yeah, Office of Community Outreach, we definitely continue to keep the community informed throughout the course of the project, design, even into construction. You know, our stakeholders are primarily, you know, community boards, bids, you know, elected officials. So we, you know, we will continue to do that throughout the course of the project. And we will have a dedicated liaison when this project is in the construction phase, and they will be your primary point of contact. And so once we know who that is, obviously we will come back at the pre-construction phase. And obviously our presentation will be more focused on what to expect during the construction. But until then, obviously, you know, Janelle and myself, and the rest of our team is here to you know, answer any inquiries you may have, or you know, any feedback that you want to share. Next slide, please. So yes, primarily the CCL will be the first point of contact. They're here, you know, primarily to identify proactively any issues, resolve any issues, any concerns, complaints. Again, disseminating a lot of different project information. We have lots of tools in the toolbox in which we communicate different project construction activities. Most importantly, during water shutdowns and other impacts like no parking restrictions, we provide 72 and 24-hour either confirmation or cancellations. And of course, we post physically door to door on the affected areas, and also, you know, email alerts to the, you know, more broader audience. And obviously the CCL is available and accessible at all times. But they will also be attending the Community Board District Service Cabinet meetings to provide monthly progress reports on the project. Next slide, please. As I said, tools in the toolbox. These are just a handful of some of the information and outreach materials that we use to continue to keep the community informed throughout the course of construction. Next. And I'd like to hand it over to Luan and her team to talk about the acquisition process as part of this project. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. Can you hear me? Hello.
Yes.
Hi, good evening. My name is John Isaac from the Property Acquisition Unit at the New York City Department of Design and Construction. And I'll be presenting the remaining slide, which covers the city planning street acquisition, including its purpose, anticipated impacts, and key milestones. To facilitate the infrastructure project, DDC on behalf of the city will be acquiring the street bed of West 254th Street between Palisade Avenue and Blackstone Avenue. The slides show the damage acquisition maps highlight the property and areas affected by the acquisition. The proposed street alignment extends beyond the limits of the current roadway curbs and sidewalks. As a result, acquisition is necessary to accommodate the full scope construction portion of private lots, as well as any private improvements located within a map right-of-way. The city intends to acquire these areas via eminent domain, affecting the following parcels: Block 5949, which lots 265, 268, and 271, blocks 5942, which is lot 298, block 5939, lots 399 and 410, and block 5937, lot 493. Totaling of 1,654 square feet. The next slide. This slide provides a closer look at the specific acquisition limits along 254th Street between Independence Avenue and Blackstone Avenue. The image highlights the portion of private lots that fall within the acquisition area. For instance, block 5949, lot 271, shown in the yellow, includes a strip of land approximately 100 square feet in size. This area also contains fencing and currently is located within the city's map right-of-way. Once the acquisition is finalized, the land will become city property and the fence will be considered an encroachment, subject to removal as needed for the city. Needed for the project. Next slide. This slide focuses on the portion of West 254th Street that is already city-owned. The western section from Palisade Avenue to Railroad Terrace was deeded to the city in 1942 and has a map width of 80 feet. The eastern section from Blackstone Avenue to Arlington Avenue was deeded in 1960 with a map width of 60 feet. One example is block 5933, lot 90, located at the corner of 254th Street and Railroad Terrace. This lot contains private improvements such as retaining walls and landscapes situated within the city map streets. These features may be impacted during the upcoming reconstruction process. Next slide. This slide outlines the key milestones of the acquisition process, which is expected to take approximately 2 years. Through the schedule is subject to change. The key events include community outreach, which is in the fall 2025, a public hearing, which is in 2026, determination and finance, which is in the summer 2026, OMB funding and City Hall approval in fall 2026, and court hearing and title vesting in summer 2027. And a notice of award will happen in the winter of 2027. The DNA map has already been reviewed and approved by the New York City Law Department. Throughout the process, DDC will remain active communication with the community to inform and engage affected property owners and residents, providing timely updates and guidance on what to expect. Next slide. The final slide summarizes the 5 most common questions we receive about the street acquisition process. Will the city condemn the property or lot? The city will need to acquire portions of several lots, including areas of roadway, curb, sidewalk, and grass that extend into the mapped street within certain sections of the project. How does the acquisition project affect certain properties? Lots impacted by the acquisition will have their tax dimension adjusted. Adjacent lots not affected by the street acquisition will remain unchanged. And how does your street reconstruction and street acquisition affect the property improvement or fixtures? Property improvement or fixtures such as fences, walls, or movable structures that extend beyond the property line will be considered encroachments once the city takes ownership of the streets. Affected property owners will be notified and asked to remove these encroachments prior to commencement of the street work. How will the property owners be compensated for portions of lots taken or removed encroachments? Acquired portions of the lots will be compensated based on the land's value. For encroachment fixtures such as fences or walls, a licensed appraiser will assess the depreciated value on a case-by-case basis, depending on the location and type of fixture. The New York City Law Department will issue a notice detailing the award amount and the land order encroachment. Property owners will be required to clear title to confirm rightful ownership before payment is made. The contact information for the DDC Property Acquisition Unit, you can contact John Isaac, the Deputy Director at the contact below, or Mian Fisal, the Acquisition Coordinator at the Acquisition Unit, email below. Is there any more questions? Or
No,
any
but
questions?
We're gonna start with board members, committee members first, and then we're gonna go to the community second. So I have a question. I received several emails of people who live on West 254th Street. And they are at wit's end with Con Edison, the gas company, on digging up the street, putting plates down. It's totally impacted their quality of life, their quality of living, and they want a timeline of what is being done now and how long this is gonna take, cause it's really been a hardship for a lot of these people living in this area, just getting in and out of their homes. Just basic things that we do every day has become an absolute hardship for them.
That work is not part of this project. That's something totally separate that Con Ed is working on. And we don't have a timeline on it. I'm not sure if the Board Commissioner's office was able to get a timeline from Con Ed on it, but as of now, we don't have a timeline. But I can assure you it's not part of this project.
Yeah, and Con Edison is probably saying that they're doing this utility work for a DDC project, which could very well be this one, right?
It's not this one. It's not this one. We haven't.
Of
Yeah, but we are not there yet for this one, so it's not this one.
It's not related to this project just yet. We don't have a contract for this project. We're still in design.
So Con Ed might come back to do more work for this project, you're saying? Can you hear? So are you saying Con Ed might come back to do more work for this project?
I'll have to refer that to DDC Design. I do believe that this project will be joint bid, so all the work will be done under one contract by one contractor when we start, but I need DDC Design to confirm that.
Yep, Aiden. Yeah, this is Jason Mai from DDC Design. Yes, this is a joint bid project. So our contractor will be doing work on behalf of the private utilities along with this capital project. So it will be coordinated together.
Good.
Any committee members with questions?
I have questions. I'll wait till you ask your questions.
I don't know, it's, this is a lot.
I have some
It's a lot.
questions.
Yes.
Yeah. A couple of questions. Since you showed us the block and lot numbers, can I assume that the homeowners who are involved in the acquisition have already been notified?
Hi, this is Lon Murray for the property acquisition unit. So this is just for the this presentation that includes the small portions of the acquisition process is for the community board. We will do a more detailed presentation of the acquisition process and going into details of notification in the fall of 2025. So that will be coming up, and everyone that are within the acquisition alignment will be notified for that separate community outreach. Okay, but not yet. That will come.
Okay, so you've identified the block and lots where there is property that the homeowners seemingly own, but is actually city property. But they have yet to be notified and begin that process, correct?
So when we do the, so it will be, so we have two scenarios here. We have property owners that are on the street that the city is condemning, right? And then we have property owners that are on the street that is already city owned. We don't want to, so when we do that community outreach for the acquisition of the street, we don't want to include the property owners that are already on city owned because they're not going to be involved in the process. They will have a separate meeting. So eventually as the project progresses, DDC will actually go out on site and actually will walk the street with those property owners that are already on city property. So they will have a separate meeting. But the one that we're presenting in fall will only for those that will be along the street that the city is condemning, because they will be receiving multiple notices from the city regarding the condemnation process. And then there are things that they have to get involved down the road. So we don't want to lump the people that are on the streets that are city owned, because they're not going to be notified from the city. They're not going to be getting notices from the city regarding condemnation, because they're not going to be involved in the condemnation. But everyone within the project limits will be notified somehow.
Okay, thank you. I do have a couple of other questions. When you finish the project, do you anticipate taking away any parking where there currently is parking allowed?
As I understand it, there is no parking allowed now on West 54th Street, so our project won't be taking away any existing parking.
Well, no, that's not correct. There are stretches of West 254th Street where there is no parking allowed, but also on the part of 254th Street that's closer to Riverdale Avenue, intersected by streets like Netherland and Arlington, there is parking permitted there. So my question is about those areas where parking is currently permitted. Will that parking be lost?
I don't believe so. I think that what legal parking is
Right.
regulated in the area will remain. However, there is some parking that we've observed where there shouldn't be, because technically, once we're done with the project, that is where, let's say, the sidewalks will go, the new sidewalk and curbs will be installed. And so when that happens, the street, may not be able to maintain parking on both sides of the street. Right? So, but we can definitely share those details with you. But that's my understanding. I think that whatever parking is legally there now will remain, and whatever parking, again, that might be used for parking after we are installing sidewalks and curbs may not be maintained legally, because I don't think there's supposed to be parking there to begin with, but we can definitely confirm exactly where those areas are.
Okay, yeah, so the legal parking will remain. That was my question.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
I don't think we'd have the exact details with us tonight on that, but that's the plan.
Okay, I understand. And one more question. The fact that it will have to be one way on 254th Street during the construction, that's going to create a significant traffic problem, certainly for the jitney that goes back and forth from the Riverdale Metro North Station. But there's also school buses going down to SAR and coming back out again later in the day. So there's a lot of traffic coordination that's going to have to take place if and when you're down to one lane total on the street.
I'm not sure if I don't think we're changing any of the traffic. It's a two-way street now. Yes, correct? One lane in each direction?
That's
Yes?
correct. But I'm talking about during the construction, you're going to be putting in sidewalks, water mains, sewers, and so on. Are you really saying that you're going to be maintaining two-way traffic during all the construction?
Oh, I can't come. We don't have that information right now. I know that part of the coordination during the design is that we will work closely with DOT, OCMC to come up with an MPT plan to see how the construction project will be able to perform the work and coexist, and how that will impact the traffic patterns that are there now. I don't think we're that far into the design where we might have that information available tonight. Correct me if I'm wrong, design, right? I think we're
That's
still
correct,
working on that.
Maria. Wayne, can you just go to the what if there's like a relevant slide, Wayne, could you just go back to that next step slide to what Maria is talking about? So that that's part of the next steps with the MPT coordination with OCMC.
No, I just want to be sure you realize there are only two streets that get down to the train station, the school, the Hebrew home for the aged, et cetera. And this is one of those two streets. So there aren't a lot of options, but I understand you're not at that stage yet. I'm just saying it's going to require a lot of careful coordination.
Yeah, I mean, either, you know, again, we can't comment exactly what may happen during the construction coordination with OCMC steps, but the, you know, the contractor may just have one lane and then the rest of the traffic could get detoured, or sometimes there's flaggers that maintain two-way traffic on one lane. And whether that would make sense in this particular instance, we don't know. We're not the, you know, again, that's something that's going to be coordinated and looked at carefully. But we cannot say with any certainty at this point what exactly that would look like. But we will certainly get back to you once we do know.
Okay, and to end on a positive note, it is so long overdue that we have sidewalks on that street that I'm beyond delighted to see that we finally, well, I can't say we've reached that stage, but it looks like we're getting closer. We've desperately needed sidewalks on that street for a long time. Thank you.
I was gonna say, I have to agree on that since I've walked those roads so many years. And yes, sidewalks are definitely needed.
I just have a quick question, about the stormwater management plan. Is there anything specific? Because, you know, it's going down a hill. We've had issues with flooding, going into the Metro North, train station. Is there a little more elaboration on stormwater plan besides what you have there? It's not a lot of information. And runoff and preventing of flooding.
Could you go, Wing, to the DEP capital improvement slide, Wing? Yeah, here we go. Okay, so as part of the DEP capital project, we are installing about 1,300 linear feet of new storm sewers. Right now, the existing sewers are severely undersized. They're not even standard anymore. So we're increasing it to standard capacity, installing new storm sewers all along the West 254th Street, the red line that you see on the screen. We're also adding new catch basins. There's none at West 54th Street at this moment. We're installing about 12 new catch basins to catch the stormwater runoff, as well as installing green infrastructure practices as part of the unified stormwater rule.
Sarah, and then we're gonna go to people online.
Yeah, I'll try to be quick. And I will go over this at my DSC meeting as well for coordination. I just want to know, I don't know if this affects, there is a private sewer company in this area. I don't know if this affects that at all, and has there been any coordination or discussion with them? Are you aware of that? In most of this area, there's a private sewer main company that maintains those pipes. And we always have to coordinate with them whenever there's construction being done in this area.
I don't think we were aware of that. Effie, do you know anyone if DEP was aware of that?
Well, you're referring to the Riverdale Sanitation Corps, correct?
Yes, yes.
Right.
I
I
don't know
cannot,
if it affects any of it, yeah.
right. I'm not aware of where their boundary specifically is. But we would not be putting in city infrastructure is my understanding. And it would be under their purview. We can definitely look into it and just confirm. We'd have to check on their boundaries. Right now, at this moment, I'm not sure what their boundaries are.
Okay, and I can help you with that. And also, just on the same note, there is a lot of work with the traffic mitigation and everything you're looking at. At the same time, the Hebrew Home is going to be doing a lot of construction on their road, and I foresee lots of cars and trucks being rerouted to that road as well. And it's going to be a major traffic jam situation. So I just want everyone to be aware of the other projects going on Palisades Avenue right there up until 261st Street, as well. So, I mean.
Do you,
we
do you have a
could talk about
timeline?
that. I
Do you
don't
have a
get the
timeline for that project? Yeah, that would be
I don't
helpful to
know.
know. Yeah.
Okay. And then also my last question is, when do you need us to respond on this plan, or, you know, like a resolution? Because it seems like it's not fully, settled yet. So we don't need to vote on this tonight, right? We have time to
We
review it.
we actually needed a letter of resolution for the summit.
That's different, yeah.
Yeah, that one, yes. This one, I don't know. I don't think we're asking for that right now, are we?
Okay.
Design?
No, I just want to make sure, so everyone's aware. Okay.
Design,
Those are my
designer, are we at?
questions.
We're not asking for that right now, are we, design? Or I don't even know if we need it, so.
Yeah, I'm not sure, Maria. We'll talk about that.
Okay, all right, yeah. We'll get back to you if we do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can we go with Mr. Stephen Fruit, please? He's got his hand raised a while. Can we unmute him?
He's unmuted.
He's a board member too.
He's
Yeah,
a board
he's a
member.
board member.
Yeah, if it's appropriate, are you calling on me, Madam Chair?
Yes, yes.
Thank you. I think that DDC first came to us back, I think, in November of 24, but it could have even been earlier to talk about this plan. I know it's probably the timelines have shifted over time, but what I think was what came up at that time when it was in its initial phase, and I know we're only at 40% completion of design, but I think it's important to take a step back and to think about whether 2 sidewalks are required for this plan. Part of the reason I say that is above Arlington Avenue, which is the place above where this project is taking place. There's already one normal, wide, safe sidewalk between Riverdale Avenue, the service road, and Netherland Avenue. And then when you get past Netherland Avenue, then you sort of run out of sidewalk. In large part, it's not a normal sidewalk. What I'm wondering about is that because I know I've heard tonight for the first time that the design will require getting rid of 19 trees, some of which I assume are substantial old growth trees. And because it's going to be necessary to take some privately owned land, but also just as important to reclaim, I guess is the proper word or word like that, land from homeowners who think they own it or they're using it with fencing and garden and green space, which is good for the environment. There's going to be encroachment of this roadway. And if there were a sidewalk on one side of the street, and that would be the north side of the street, consistent with the sidewalk which already exists between Arlington and the service road to the east, you will probably not require as much land. You might not require taking away as many trees. And I think that given that the design is at the 40% stage, this is the time, not later, when things get baked in, to really give serious consideration to having a sidewalk on one side of the street. And by the way, this is the side of the street where the school is on, right? So this is the north side of 254th. This is where SAR is. This is where SAR has 3 different entrances to parking lots, to school buildings, and below. So I think that deserves I hope, deserves serious consideration. There may not be a necessity to, even though it is the norm in modern road design to have sidewalks on both sides, the character of this neighborhood is that there are many streets without any sidewalks at all, and that is part of its charm. And I think this can be a safe roadway for people if there's one wide sidewalk on one side of the street. That would be the north side of the street.
Yeah, I think that question did come up in our previous, one of our previous presentations. And I think I think I had responded to that. I mean, one of the goals of this project is to address some of the flooding that occurs on these streets. And when you look at the drainage system and the drainage plan as a whole, you know, sidewalks, not necessarily, but the curbs that belong to the sidewalks play a role in diverting the water into additional catch basins that I'm sure we are going to be installing that may not be in existence today. So in order for it to really work the way that it should, by diverting the water into the catch basins, we do need those curbs that are attached to the sidewalks. And normally on both sides of the street, you know. So again, I could be wrong. I'm not an engineer or designer, but I do know that that's usually the basic plan.
Well-
You know, as far as what the role is for curbs, and
Yeah.
obviously in addition to a clear delineation between, you know, street traffic and pedestrians.
Right, I just
But
wonder if there's not.
our designers are here, you know, and they can certainly take a look and see. But again, do we have any other responses for this? So I mean, we can get back to you with a more in-depth response as to why we feel that the sidewalks are necessary. And obviously in consideration to what you've, you know, obviously have communicated with us. I mean, you know, I think it's terrible that we have to cut down trees, you know, in order to do what we need to do to some degree. And if and when possible to avoid it, we obviously we've done that on projects. But I'm not sure. Every project's a little different on, you know, case by case basis. And I don't know if our design team has really had a chance to, you know, really take a close look at any alternatives, if any.
Well, what I'm asking, I think what I'm asking is if there could be a creative solution that involves installation of curbing without a full sidewalk. Because although, again, that is the norm and it's the state of the art for road design, I get that. I forget the name of it, but there's actually a name in the design world for the typical street. But this is not a typical neighborhood, you sort of, you know, nationwide. It's not new development, you know, kind of thing. And it's a very windy road. And I think a wide, safe sidewalk with curbing on one side and maybe just some creative solution. I know we have about a dozen people from DDC on this presentation, at least sitting in tonight. And I would ask sincerely that because there are so many other effects to taking as much of the roadbed, as it were, plus some private property, both of which will affect homeowners along the way, but also the character of the neighborhood, that I just wonder with trees, et cetera, if there's a creative solution here for DDC to achieve some of that, you know, flooding control, which is also very important to the community, obviously, without creating equally sized or very broad sidewalks on both sides. It's just not that big a street, even with the takings. So that's what I would sincerely ask to, and I don't know if other people on the DDC side, you know, want to comment now, or whether we could have a continued conversation via the TNT committee or what. I'm not a designer. This is just from the perspective of some, you know, just a neighborhood representing the interests of the neighborhood.
Right. So design, we're going to take back all of these notes from tonight's meeting. And obviously, you know, we have to consult internally, you know, to other folks within DDC. But we was, you know, it's an honest request, and you know, we'll definitely give us an opportunity to discuss it internally to see, you know, if there are alternatives.
I just
We'll
have
get
one
back
more.
to the community board. Thank you.
I just have one more question, and this is maybe not a DDC question because it's a stopgap, and that is the special pathway that was created about a year ago using the soft bollards or the flexible bollards to protect pedestrians from the roadway. And I know there's a planter here and there and a crazy concrete block farther down toward the railroad terrace. But the problem with that, and this has been a problem that's called to, I believe it's been called to the attention of DOT and DDC a while ago, is that it does direct pedestrians for the right reasons into this windy path protected by these bollards, or at least delineated by these bollards. But the actual surface where people walk with, you know, baby carriages and strollers and older people and people going down for their commute to access Metro North is so irregular and so chopped up that it is you're basically directing people to their doom. And they they don't have a choice. That's exactly where they're supposed to go. But what I think we need, understanding that construction will not start until deep into 2027, is that, halfway through or more, is that something be done to that area of the roadway north of the bollards where the path is, so that it is safe to walk and safe to roll there. And again, I think that may be a DOT issue, but it's crucial for safety in the interim, because we're talking about it another year and a half. Two years.
Is someone responding?
That's
Somebody has to answer.
your point is well taken. We'll appreciate if the board could send a request to the board commissioner's office. We could look into see what we can, if anything can be done.
Mr. Benjamin, we will do that. We will send
Thank you.
in writing that we were requesting if there could be a sidewalk on one side, on the north side, prevention of elimination of trees, so we can maintain our character and Community Board 8, and also ensuring better safety measures in the interim before this plan is rolled out.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that'll be helpful. Thank you.
Madam Chair, may I be recognized?
Maria, who do we send that to, or?
May I,
The
before this
bar
closes,
commissioner's
may I be
office, Teresa
recognized?
Cruz.
I have my hand up. May I be recognized, please? My hand has been up.
1 second, Robert. I just want to ask who I send that to.
Borough
Maria?
Commissioner's Office, DOT? DOT Borough
Bar
Commissioner's Office?
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Bob Panuzzi?
Thank you. I'm speaking to you today as a Riverdale resident, also as a board member, president of the Bronx Council for Environmental Quality. And I have a couple of considerations that lend further merit to the sidewalk reduction proposal proposed by Steve Fruit. First, there may be, in fact, enhanced infiltration and stormwater management measures possible without a sidewalk. In fact, our organization works very closely with DEP in creating nature-based solutions to infiltrate water. And given, I have to say, so that would be a kind of obligation to manage stormwater, in fact, an opportunity to manage more of it. If you were going to be environmentally producing an EAS or an EIS for this, you would want to consider the least impactful alternatives. And in this case, it may actually represent additional water, stormwater management effectiveness. If you were to create nature-based green infrastructure on the south side. And the reason I really say this is because it is very important to always consider alternatives, as Steve Fruit says, and environmentally to understand the impacts of losing any green space, including people's lawns, which are obviously nature, as well as root systems. So I say this because this is a steep slope. This is in a SNAD community. The zoning for these individual properties have measures of soil stabilization and erosion control. You could see the impact of erosion on the north side of the street, right in front of SAR, where there's been serious undermining of the roadway. So we're dealing with water here at a very high velocity that's from decades just done that work. And so you really should be looking at the same kind of solutions for stormwater that private homeowners have to face in this SNAD district. I also want to say that we're very concerned, BCQ and others, about the overburdening of our stormwater and our sewer system. And I say that because with increased storms, and mind you that even a normal storm is more intense on that steep slope because of the velocity of the rainwater, that there is strong possibility of outfalls. Okay, and as you know, the DEP system is built with a sewer line and safety valves when there is overburdened sewers during stormwater events. And those are the outfalls that, yes, outfall into the Harlem River, outfall into the Hudson River. So this really is a potential, you might say, conduit to those outfalls, into that water quality hazard. And so please do take a look at measures that would actually reduce the sewer load, the burden on the sewer line, number one. And number two, preserve nature and install as much nature and as few impervious surfaces as you can. This is a hazardous area, and MTA has already done tremendous work, and DEP has done tremendous work at the bottom of this hill, trying to mitigate flooding. But the roadway really has to come under the same scrutiny. And please do examine all alternatives. We will be happy to work with you and produce some models that can actually work better than the sewer. So I wanted to second the solution, the proposal to investigate further, and also ask you to investigate these environmental mitigation measures extremely seriously. Thank you.
Rodney?
Yes, hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, so I have a couple of points, both as someone who lives on 254th Street and is very concerned about the community, and also someone who is a former civil engineer who has done road reconstruction projects like this. One, I would say that the residents of the community are overwhelmingly in favor of only having one sidewalk, including management at SAR. So if that is at all possible, I would reiterate that that is something that is extremely popular for the people who do live here, as it would better keep the character of the neighborhood. And it will also allow you not to necessarily lose parking spots. I've been on almost every one of these community board meetings, and we've been told in the past that the parking spots will be lost between Independence and Arlington, which are currently legal parking spots. So just a note. It's possible that I'm wrong, but that's what we've been told before. The other thing I wanted to bring up is so that you absolutely you need to keep the curbs. Just everyone knows that if you're going to take it out, but there are plenty of ways in which you can have curbs without sidewalks and still be able to maintain the drainage. That's a relatively easy task for an engineer to grade to the building or to wherever they're grading to. In fact, if you grade with grass even for a number of feet, you're also solving part of the water problem, because it will be able to be absorbed by the ground and not all become runoff. Another point that I wanted to bring up was the utilities. So I think originally this project had the utilities being buried. And, while we're only in the 40% stage of design, for a neighborhood that regularly loses power due to the trees and the weight of the trees on the lines, I would strongly request that you consider, burying the lines, because we're never going to rip up this road again. This is a once in a lifetime project. And if we don't do this now, the lines will never be buried. So I think that in terms of beautifying the neighborhood, in terms of safety, I mean, I saw the power line explode in front of SAR. It was like a Roman candle sitting on top of the power line. And so if that could be considered, I think that would be an enormous benefit in addition to the drainage and other things that we're doing for this project. I don't know if that's possible. Does anybody want to answer
Anybody
that
from
or?
DDC? Can somebody from DDC respond to that?
About burying the utilities.
Yes.
Yeah, we started after we heard that from the last community board meeting. We did get into conversations with Con Edison about that. It really depends on Con Edison. That's not really our
So how does that get coordinated? Because if we don't coordinate it here and now, we all know it'll never happen.
well, I mean it gets coordinated with we talked with Con Edison. We told them about the community feedback that they would like to bury the lines. We told them about our capital project. We showed them what type of work we're doing, and for them, it's a decision on their end on whether it makes sense for Con Edison. We can't force them to bury the utilities.
Is there a lead person at Con Edison that you're coordinating this project with, that you can have that information and we can engage them in the process of hearing what the community needs?
Yeah, let's.
If you can send that to the office so we be able to have that dialogue, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. So my last point is, and I know it's a bit out there and that we're not going to start construction for 2 years, but I just asked that the DOT consideration with the community board consider, if you've been spending any time at all on 254th Street, you'll realize that 254th Street, Palisades, Independence, and Sycamore are all in some version of undrivable. And if we're going to shut down 254th Street for, even if we're going to take half the road up, and we're going to try to put that traffic onto these other roads that are undrivable, it's going to be a real mess. So I think there's still time to do that. I mean, these roads should be paved anyway, right? This is a part of tax dollars, part of the regular schedule. We have time to do something about it before, we get here in 2 years and we try to start this project and we start pushing every car that comes to SAR, of which there are probably a couple of hundred every morning and every evening for pickup and drop off, in addition to the train people are flying down. And then we're going to try to reroute them onto Sycamore, which is barely passable. It's going to be a real challenge. And even now Palisades, which we appreciate, it was 10 years ago, it was repaved. It has potholes, enormous potholes on it. I think in coordination with this project, we would be doing all of ourselves a favor if we could get the arteries in better shape before we started this.
Thank you. We will reach out and see if we can get this coordinated with the paving. We'll
Yeah,
send-
we've been asking for it too, because Con Edison's been doing a lot of work there on all those streets. So we have been asking in the meantime for them to fully pave those streets. Exactly where this is all gonna be, by Independence, by Arlington, Sycamore. So they're thinking about it. We have to get definitive answers.
I mean, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. This would be beneficial for the project in a big way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Allegra?
Hi, thank you so very much. My name's Allegra Legrand. I am a parent to a couple of public school CB8 kids, and I live just on the other side of Broadway Bridge. And I thank you so very much. The questions that have been asked tonight are very relevant. So I have I'm in my day job a climate scientist. So my first comment is that this pitch for improvement of storm drainage, I think that this could be put to the community in a way that is meaningful. And specifically, I think that New York DDC, DOT, DEP should pitch the changes in sewer drainage capacity in how many inches per hour of drainage this additional capacity will serve. New York City has a broad average of 1.75 inches per hour that is quoted as the maximum drainage capacity of New York City streets. And the hand waving that I saw in this presentation was not quantitative enough to know if this would be a robust change that would survive the decades of upcoming climate change. Secondly, thank you so very much for the previous questioner. There are two pieces of extreme storms that climate scientists typically consider. One is extreme rainfall, the other is extreme winds. And of course, Riverdale is one of the areas in New York City that is very vulnerable to extreme winds associated with extreme storms because it has so many power lines and other utilities that are not buried, that are on telephone poles. So I really don't understand why there is a significant change in the streets that does not include burying the lines. And I would request that Bronx CB8, if they cannot compel Con Ed to make such a change, that they ask the state representatives about the regulations that allow them to make changes to New York City streets and services and infrastructure changes that are not robust to climate change. I'm also curious about the 12-foot width proposed for this street. New York City, as a back line, has 25 miles per hour as the speed limit for New York City streets. 12-foot street width sounds to me like it is faster intended travel speed than 25 miles per hour. So has New York City DOT designed a street change for Riverdale where people are encouraged to speed? And then just to back end the folks who have asked questions before, there are natural ways that you can make your community more resilient to climate change. Urban heat island, of course, you want to save those trees. I suggest that if you have a street width that is not 12 feet, that you could find inventive ways to preserve those trees. And saving grass, catchment basins, and et cetera will, of course, help you with the catchment basins. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and we will definitely integrate that into our letter to DOT and DEP and also Con Edison. Thank you. Is there anybody else with a raised hand? No. Okay, we're gonna continue. Thank you everyone for your input. And we're gonna continue on our agenda. Go on, so let's see. Hold on.
Is anyone here from Manhattan University? I would say,
Hi, I'm here. My name's Sarah. I'm here on behalf of Roxanne from Cullen and Dykeman, and we represent Manhattan. We just wanted to provide an update on the status of the street co-naming project that we've been working on for several months now. We had mailed out notices to everyone along Manhattan College Parkway. Most of the notices got returned to sender. We think that the reason that happened was because most of the buildings are multiple units, and so they weren't able to deliver them without knowing the unit numbers. So we've been working on trying to get those unit numbers. We're in contact with the post office. They directed us to use this service called EVDM, and we're reaching out to them to work with them to hopefully get a route where we can hit all the addresses along the parkway. But You know, we're open to suggestions if anyone has any ideas of how we could best do that.
Did you post physical flyers at the buildings or letters?
No.
Or work with the superintendent or management company of the
So-
building?
Yeah, so our next step is going to be to reach out to the individual management companies. If this post office thing doesn't work out, but no, we didn't post physical flyers.
But you did do a mailing of what you were provided. And there were some responses that mail came back, but you did do a mailing with the list that you were provided with from the post office.
Well, we weren't provided a list by the post office. We used a map, like, and cross-referenced it with Department of Finance records, which show addresses. So that's how we got the address numbers, but we don't have like we weren't able to obtain a list of addresses.
So everyone has.
Shall we table this until next meeting?
Well, we can, we have the letters of support, which you sent us in the past. And the key thing was community outreach on this. So. I do think you should post maybe something in the buildings, lobbies. There are, you know. I know you also got letters from like Methodist Home and others in the community and support.
Mm-hmm.
But as long as we have everything before November 6th, and, you know, approvals, letter from the board, then it can be submitted to council for a vote.
Okay, we're working on it. We're hoping to make more progress next week with the mailings.
Okay. So we're just gonna table this.
I did let Roxanne know the next meeting, I believe, is October 16th, I believe.
Yes.
So basically, if you can have everything ready for then we can vote on it then and move forward on it.
Okay, we will aim for that.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And the Summit Place, while you have them, you might
Yes.
want to review.
And then another thing on this, they should, if that is the deadline for the committee to vote, it should be in this letter, respond before October 16th.
Oh, okay, I'll email that to her.
Okay,
That's a good
because
point.
if we've waited this long and they haven't reached out to the apartments.
Sorry, who has to vote? Let's see.
No, we're not voting because.
We're not
they have-
No, not us, but.
They
why-
have more.
The committee
Why
has
is
to
there?
vote on the street
Our city
co-naming
council has.
next meeting.
City council, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
We don't vote on it,
We do, but we have to submit it
Submit
to
it.
city council.
right, but next
be
meeting,
considered.
we have to vote on it.
Okay.
So
They have
the
work.
letters have to be out with time for community members to respond. And it's already been several months now. They haven't reached out to people who reside in apartments along this street.
So we would need to hear by October 16th.
Correct.
So that we can vote on it and
Yeah.
get it to the council in time.
Yeah.
Maybe she could post it like in the supermarket, you know, how sometimes
Well,
they
she
just.
had-
Well, I think they should post it in the actual.
The actual
building.
address.
I
the
don't think
address.
that should be like a
No.
public post.
Okay, I don't know.
Yes.
Okay.
This is tabled. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on to overview of City Bike. I think we already pretty much had a good discussion about City Bike. We're still waiting for a response from DOT and City Bike to get back to us. We had a walkthrough with DOT
Did something happen with the sound?
It's a common thing, they'll lose internet.
At the community board office, so
Yeah.
we're all still live, but the board office comes off.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, it's a common issue.
thank
Mhm. Yeah. So next on the agenda is, Summit Place.
excuse me, can you repeat the city bike report because the sound went out? We
We
didn't,
had, we had an earlier discussion, City Bike and DOT has not responded back to us with the suggestions. We had a walkthrough with City Bike, DOT, and also present was Assembly, Dinowitz and Councilman Dinowitz. And as of yet, we haven't received any response on, what we suggested and what we observed during that, walkthrough. So we're awaiting a response back from them.
thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, I'm sorry, you were going to do,
You all discussed last year, you had a presentation on the Summit Place Step Streets.
correct.
And you had a nice discussion, but you never had a resolution. So DDC needs a letter of support or a resolution from us as soon as possible on that presentation.
So
In the minutes, sorry, but in the minutes, which I gave you for May, is the summary of your discussion and what the points were.
And I know two of the points was an issue, what we would require is one, when people are coming down one of the step streets on the side where there's the apartment building, there could be issues where people could see into their apartment. So one, if they could make some modification or safety plan for people who live in those apartments that are adjacent to the step street. I know that was one. And the other one, could they incorporate more green space? Was the other point that we really want them to integrate into the plan. But other than that, we thought it was great. They would, people would have access to be able to use baby carriages, bicycles, walkers. It's ADA. It would, be an amazing fit for the people living in that community. I know there would be issues with parking during the staging of the project itself. There would be parking spaces that would be temporarily not be usable because they'd be staging the project.
Yeah, well, that's inevitable. There's no way around that. Screening the windows should be an easy fix. That can't be hard to do. I wasn't here for the presentation. I just looked at what sent around, yeah. And I mean, it looks like it would be a real improvement.
And the presentation is on our website.
It's on our website.
Summit Place Step Streets under the Traffic and Transportation tab.
My only concern is that it takes 4 years.
What to do?
One street to the next street, now you have to fit. So that was the only thing, and there's nothing you can do to work around that.
Yeah.
So do you want to make that two of the conditions on approval of the Step Street presentation? As far as addressing the privacy issues, adding screened windows and adding more green infrastructure if possible?
Yes.
Would that work?
I'll make a motion to someone draft a resolution. Approving this project with two conditions.
Yeah. So we want to approve this tonight?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so, just, approve the resolution with the amendments, the two amendments that have just been discussed. So that would be the motion to approve.
Approve.
Yeah.
Approve.
Approve.
Unanimous.
Unanimous.
The unanimity on this committee.
All right. And next on the agenda is 2028 budget priorities. Oh, wow. We have what we did for 2027. We just want to be thinking about what do we need for community board aid for infrastructure improvement and moving forward. I know there was a lot of step streets that we wanted looked at and improved on. So I don't know, if we wanna take a look at what we have now and we can move forward on the next meeting in October. But just so everybody has it, so if we wanna add or delete, I think would be a good idea. Yes.
I also think it would be a good idea because I know how they stress doing less and less
Mhm.
before, but that is not how the board overall wants to go. We want more and more requests for budget priorities. I can send you all, I guess, and it is on our website, the last 3 years of budget. You should really look at the history of what you've requested in the past, because not all of that has been funded. And it's probably still relevant today, but you wouldn't know it by looking at last year's requests.
Yeah, that would be useful to have.
Yeah, that's a good start.
Mhm.
All right, so we will move this over to next month's meeting. We have no unfinished business. I believe we do not. Oh, somebody still has their
I
hand
think
in?
she wanted to bring up something in unfinished
I'm
business.
sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry, new business. I thought you said new business next. Sorry.
I have two things for new business.
New business?
New business, so throughout the course of the summer, we had an issue on Greystone with an electrical fire. And since, I believe, July 22nd, there have been 2 streetlights out at, McLaughlin Park on Greystone. I know the office has reached out to DOT many times over. There's also some for like at both ends of Greystone around 236 and up to 242nd maybe. There are 2 other streetlights out, and I've tried to submit some of the streetlight complaints through 311, but because I've already submitted the complaint and it's still unaddressed, that it says it's a duplicate complaint and it doesn't let me log it. So basically for the last 3 months now, we haven't had streetlights in front of a busy park where, most of the time kids are playing. We've had some safety and some quality of life issues over the summer. One of my neighbors was robbed because it's pitch black there. And now that it's getting darker earlier and staying darker later in the morning, it is a real concern about safety, and we keep asking DOT. Con Ed was the issue before, now DOT, and we really can't get any traction on this. And so I know Farrah's doing her, gone above and beyond. She's gonna bring it up at the district
Yeah, and I
meeting.
did this morning
Thank you.
again to follow up.
Thank you.
And there seems to be a lot of streetlight outages in our district I've been noticing this summer. And they're notorious for taking a very long time to repair, replace. They take months, if not years, I hate to say, but
It's terrible.
just, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a safety concern.
Safety concern.
Safety concern shouldn't take 3 months and after 3 months, you still don't have
At least 3 months,
resolved.
yep.
Yeah.
They
That's right.
try to do emergencies where they can, but overall, it takes a very long time.
Well, it
What
is
do
an
they usually
emergency.
consider emergency, like?
Well, I feel like it's an
If someone, if
emergency at all.
it was a crime, somebody got
Yeah.
hurt, it's a safety concern, that, to me,
That's
that
what
is an
we-
emergency.
Yeah, and three of the four that are out on Greystone are in front of city-owned parks. So you would think that those would escalate, but.
Well, it's on my DSC agenda.
Okay.
And if anyone has any
Tell 'em,
more,
Farrah.
let me know. See, the temple, CSA also, there's someone around there. There's like 2 or 3 or 4 streetlights out there as well. Same on the highway. So we've been following up on that area as well. And, you know, those are some major outages that we're dealing with right now.
So we could send a letter to them based from the
Yeah,
TNT committee. So we will pose a letter.
Oh, good.
The second issue is, along the Broadway corridor between 225th and at least 238 and, 242nd. There's just a lot going on in that corridor. I know MTA, for topics related to, TNT, MTA is doing this massive renovation. It's going up and down the corridor. They have barricades for for lack of a better term, that go up and down Broadway. Some of them are sort of protected, some of them are, it looks very haphazard. You can enter into them if you so choose to do so. There's trash and garbage that's in them and then collecting around them. So one of the things I proposed over the summer is that we work collectively across a few different committees to just bring attention to what's going on Broadway and sort of the lack or failure sounds like a tough word, but the lack of city services being provided to patrons, merchants, just people coming and going, trying to get to school or work. And it's our busiest corridor. It runs straight through the district. It's the biggest hub in this part of the Bronx for transportation. And it needs some TLC. So I'm on the public safety committee. We're talking about towing cars that have been abandoned, and revitalizing or sort of reinvigorating the public to contact 311 about cars that are demolished, that have been abandoned, that are just taking up parking spaces, that are, a variety of things. I know environment and sanitation is going to jump in. Economic development, we're going to have sort of anyone who wants to participate in corridor walkthrough. Constance, the chair of economic development, is coordinating that with the bid. And obviously the office and Julie are coordinating this in the district. And so I don't know next steps for now, but there will be a walkthrough date mid-October. And so anyone from the committee or from community who wants to participate, love to have people's input.
We can send an email to the whole board
Yeah.
when you do that.
When,
and then
when the date is set, yeah.
Yeah, we'll
Sure.
participate.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
They always claim that, the police department says they don't have enough vehicles to move the abandoned cars. But then some of them are not, I mean, technically, yeah, at a certain point, isn't it? If there's a license, it's the PD, and if there's no license, then it's sanitation. Yeah, and everybody doesn't seem to have enough tow trucks. So, maybe budget priorities, maybe.
Tow trucks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe
That would be
that's one.
great.
And spots to put them all. That's the other
Yeah.
issue. They have nowhere to
Correct.
put them.
Cause then they put them on Broadway.
Yeah.
Actually,
Or along Henry Hudson.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Or along the reservoir, or, choose your favorite
You should put
abandoned
them
car
at
lot.
the city bike station. Sorry.
Mm.
I just joking.
All right. So we have
Okay,
our first-
those are my
our
two.
First budget priority. Madam
So
Chair.
truck. So, so I had sent an email regarding the BX9, the last stop, which is Broadway at 262nd Street.
There's an accident
So,
there recently.
primarily what I see happening is they kind of cater to thinking that everyone that gets off the BX9 is gonna continue and go to the B line to go to Westchester. So there's no traffic light, no stop sign, no yield. So most people that get off on that stop that need to go up in Riverdale, we are all dodging and running against traffic. I've seen 3 accidents happen. These are parents with small children, some elderly people, and just people regular just trying to cross the street. So I did file a complaint. And at the time, they told me that the last time a case study was done over there was 1999. Which I think is ridiculous because the world has changed twice. 9/11 happened and then COVID. So, you know, we have to really figure out why they are delaying to come over there to do something. There's a big building that's being constructed right now. That's the homeless
The homeless
shelter movement.
shelter, right.
It's gonna be a massive amount of people right there. So, you know, I don't know what the solution is, but I know where the bus stop is currently located is in a terrible spot. So either they could move it to
bus stop.
261st.
Or move the bus stop.
Yeah, move the bus stop might be the simplest thing to move it to 261st, which is already a street light. That's where you stop. So you're really at the mercy of the cars that's headed south to like kind of pause or yield for you to run around or go all the way to the next block to go up the hill.
So are we proposing a traffic study to be done?
Yeah, I put in a request and that's what they said they would do to see what the, you know, to kind of determine what the next steps would be. But they didn't get back to me and I put that request in October 2024.
You sent it
I
to
sent it
us?
to you, yes.
So I think, I didn't get an answer on that, but I'll remind them again on that one. Also I have a monthly district service cabinet meeting.
Okay.
With all the city agencies, so board members always send me things to discuss with them.
Okay.
And it's an opportunity for all the agencies to hear everything that everyone's doing. And for us to follow up on things
Okay,
like that.
That would be great, because if they even just send a person there to stay 1 hour, they'll see exactly what I'm referring to, because it's constant. Major bus stop.
Hello? I have my hand raised. It's my first time attending the meeting. And I want to,
Don't, you're interrupting. Right now, the board members are speaking. You have to wait for the chair to call on you.
Yes.
oh, okay.
Yes.
So the issue is crossing Broadway.
Yes.
And 263rd or 261st?
So the stop is actually, the last stop is 262nd, but there's no light there. The street light is 261st or all the way up on Carroll. There's no light. It's like
On Broadway.
On Broadway. So this is North Riverdale that I'm referring to. This is like where it actually.
Yeah, Carroll's Yonkers.
Yeah, Carroll is Yonkers. So I just feel like maybe they just think that everyone that gets off that bus are going to continue to go on a Westchester bus. They're not factoring in that people get off of that bus and go
Crossing the
to
street.
come up to go up the hill.
But, you know, the Westchester buses start at 242nd Street. They start at the subway.
Yes.
So it's the same, at that point, they're running the exact same route as the 9 bus.
Yes.
So I don't know who's getting on, what, you know, most of the people who are going up into Yonkers, you know, are coming down on those buses are getting on the subway or getting off the subway at 242nd. I don't understand why they don't get on the bus there, why they need to, you know, change buses at 267.
Right, I don't know the answer to that either. And even at 242nd Street, when you are waiting for the 9 bus, all of the Westchester buses take over the spot, so you have to like peek out to see, wave your hand to let them know.
They did move the bus stop down, but even so,
They're
yes,
not-
I've been there.
they're
I've been
not
there.
honoring- they're not honoring it.
I know, I've been there, and yes, the Westchester buses sometimes don't.
Yeah, they
park
both
in-
got.
They're double parked.
They're double
parked on.
Or the 9 bus can't get to the curb, and so, they load and discharge out in the street.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's a complaint we could also make to the MTA to, you know, that they're
Evaluate
doing
the bus
parking
stops.
and it's affecting the visual. It's visually impairing traffic and cars trying to go
I'll
around.
tell you, it's better now than it was before.
Oh, it was
because
worse?
When they were, when they were all in the same spot, the people going up to Westchester would run right over you to get on their bus, so they didn't miss, because there's like 4 or 5 different buses
Right, I
out
do
there.
notice that.
And if you waited for the 9 bus, you'd just be stampeded. So,
Wow.
anyway, but that's too much history. I don't need that history.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, but
Hopefully
you
they'll
got
get
it.
back to us.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the community. 2 hands
And
up.
Allegra had her hand up first.
Allegra and then Jacqueline. Allegra?
Hi, thank you guys so very, very much for recognizing me. Like I mentioned, I have 2 kids who go to high school in CB8. I have 1 kid who goes to, oh my, I'm frozen. I hope that I am not frozen for you guys. Anyway, I have 2 kids who go to high school in CB8, 1 who goes to H. Sass Lehman, and 1 who goes to Beta, which is in the JFK campus in Marble Hill. I live in the northernmost part of Inwood. My family has lived here for 25 years. We do most of our shopping in CB8 between Garden Gourmet, Aldi, and Target. Like, that's where we get all of our food. And my kids learned to swim at the Century at 3333 HHP. So I feel that Riverdale is also my community. For the last year, I think that my community of Inwood and your community and Bronx CB8, Riverdale, and Kingsbridge, that the MTA has separated our communities in a way that is horrible. The Bronx and Manhattan are connected 2 ways in our neighborhood. They have the Henry Hudson Parkway, which nobody really takes every day because, like, who's going to go way up the heck in Inwood Hill Park? So most people commute between Inwood and Riverdale on the Broadway Bridge. The Broadway Bridge is really broken right now, and my kids are both teenagers, and so they commute to school by themselves. The southbound / western side of Broadway has been closed for at least a year. And the street surface of the actual Broadway Bridge is horrible. It is horrible in a way that makes everything that is not like a big car take the sidewalk. So bicyclists take the sidewalk. I don't really fault cyclists for taking the sidewalk because the street looks like a death trap. And yet, the Broadway Bridge having just a sidewalk on the northbound side, it's 3 feet wide in many places. You can't even pass with like your shopping cart. There's like people on their bikes, there's people on their like etc. like e-devices. And there's not enough space. And people who are going southbound, they have like the chaos gauntlet they have to run of a lane of the southbound Broadway side being closed down. People who are disabled have no way to commute currently between Inwood and the Bronx because it is not ADA accessible. On the we are, of course, Manhattan 12 on the Inwood side. There is no accessibility ramp on the northbound side of Broadway Bridge. And this has been ongoing for a year and a half, and there has been no update by MTA. I do not understand why on 225th Street, the MTA has taken a lane to have like a quote unquote like sidewalk path for pedestrians, but in the most important part, getting across the Broadway Bridge, there's no way for people to get across. Like, it is just insane. My teenagers are conscientious children, and yet every single day I am terrified that my kids will be ended because the bridge is just such an impediment to commute between our 2 communities. I don't understand why MTA is not at both CB12 Manhattan and CB8 the Bronx every single month explaining to us why they shut down our sidewalks, and then, you know, chaotically on the weekends, they say, oh, we're gonna shut down like this extra lane of the Broadway Bridge, and then like your community member asked about like northern of the like our subway system, like they randomly shut down random lanes, and they shut down a whole lane of traffic so they can park their construction vehicles, and yet pedestrians are left to fend for themselves. Like our two communities are linked economically and socially, and this construction project, which seems interminable, it's going on forever. Why haven't they updated BX12? Why haven't they updated Manhattan? Sorry, why have they updated Bronx 8? Why haven't they updated Manhattan 12? Why do we have to sit in this posture where we don't know how to commute between our communities? Thank you so very much. I'm sorry I pontificated, but please, please, please put this on your agenda next month, please.
Well, we will invite MTA, but MTA does update on their website when they're having construction. It may not necessarily be as forthcoming as we may want it or the way they communicate it, but we will reach out to them and for them to be part of our meeting. We do appreciate and hear what you're saying, and we do agree that it's difficult.
It is not. It is currently in violation of ADA, and I intend this month to file, like, who knows in this administration where my Title II-3 complaint will go, but currently the Broadway Bridge is in violation of ADA. Full stop. And I think that our communities should absolutely advocate for those who have disability amongst us so that they can get from point A to point B in our communities. It is so important. Thank you so very much.
She's Manhattan 12 and she's the Marble Hill section of Community Board 8. So we should definitely be in touch with her office on both sides to figure out, you know, what do we do about the Broadway Bridge? I haven't been over that bridge in a long time, so you know, I don't know about these conditions, but you know, from what we're hearing, it's a serious problem.
Correct. So we can invite them both.
Yeah.
See if they're available for October 16th.
You know, it's good to get an updated timeline for the overall project. They do give us weekly updates that we do post on social media to the community, but like she said, they post that we're gonna be closed, this lane will be closed this week for construction. So we do that, but you need an overall. Schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, even sometimes when they post and they tell you, well, then there is no alternative.
Correct.
You know, it's basically don't use the bridge. And what kind of solution is that?
Jacqueline?
Good evening. I apologize for interrupting earlier. I'm new to this meeting and I signed on late. However, it's been a great learning experience. I just wanted to piggyback off of the committee member in the black sweatshirt with the white, from what I can see, white lettering about 261st Street and 262nd Street and the bus BX9. I'm actually 2 blocks away on 261st and Spencer Avenue, and I use that Broadway line for the BX M3 frequently, and I'm 75, and I run into the problem at that particular stop where there is no light at 262nd. When I come home on the BXM3, it's also dark over there when I come home late at night, and it's unsafe. I feel unsafe. I agree about the traffic light. The thing is, 267th Street has a sign up that says it's the city limits of Yonkers. And that home for the homeless people, the shelter home that they're building, is actually on the south part of Yonkers. That is 267 up, going up is Yonkers. And I don't know what type of issue that might raise, but as I said, my issue is the BXM3 coming home, and the BXM3, when I'm going into Manhattan on it, I stand at 261st Street, but the BXM9, they congregate. Like recently, there were 3 buses sitting on the Broadway side. There were 20 people at the bus stop. We were all waiting. And I called 311 to complain because I had been there for at least 30 minutes, and there were people there when I got there, and 3 buses just sitting. So I called to ask what was going on, and I was told that those drivers were all on a break. And I said, that doesn't make sense. I've worked in management. That doesn't make sense that you'd have 3 buses on a break and you have people standing on this side, and the people are growing, more and more people are coming. So when I'm waiting for the BXM3 to come, I was waiting for the 9 on that day. I'm waiting on days when I'm waiting for the BXM3. It's always a congregation of buses. They turn and they come on to 261st, which that's a hazard too, because they're long. They make that turn to come and go down Broadway. And when they make the turn, I can't see the BXM3. So I think a light would be very helpful, a stoplight, but also if you could speak to the BX9 about why I appreciate there are so many buses, but there's something being mismanaged, and it becomes a danger and a hazard for me because I have to go into the street. What they do is they come around, they pull around, and 2 will be on the 261st Street side going south. I'll have a bus waiting at the light on 261st. Then another bus is waiting in front of the deli. So when the
Jacqueline, I hate to interrupt you, but what would be very, very helpful, if you could send an email to the office with the specifics so we can follow up on it.
Okay,
So
that's
you
what
can-
I needed to know. I'm
Yes.
calling for information. I need to
Yes.
know the office. Hold on a minute. Let me get a pen. Where do I send it to?
bx08@cb.nyc.gov.
BX08 at
CB.
CB.
For community board.
Community board.
Got it.
NYC.gov.
At nyc.gov.
Yes, and we'll be able to have that and be able to follow up. And we also are going to be extending an invitation to the MTA.
That's why I'm presenting it here tonight. Thank you so much. I've learned a lot. There's more I'd like to discuss, but I'll send an email about those issues as well.
Thank you.
Things you were talking about tonight.
Thank you. Daria, you're next. Daria?
Thank you.
Hi, yes, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
We
Okay,
can hear
great.
you.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Dar. Yes, okay, great, cool. I'm a reporter from the Columbia Journalism School, and CB8 is the district that I'm reporting on. And we've touched on this in the meeting. Since the subway ends at 242nd Street, the top half of the district is like only accessible by bus, which is pretty unusual for the city. And I'm currently working on an article about how the bus policies proposed by the mayoral candidates are going to affect the people that rely on the buses as they live in an area where the subway is inaccessible. And, as you guys might have heard, the Democratic nominee, Mamdani, he's promising to make all buses free, which has the potential, of course, to transform the entire city and especially parts of this district. So if anyone has any thoughts that they would be willing to share with me, I would greatly appreciate it. The lady on the committee, she shared some really good points about the BX9, and Jacqueline, the lady that spoke before me, she also shared some good points about the BXM3. And I don't know how to get my contact info out, because I guess it's
Email BX08 with your request.
okay. And then maybe I can put my like email or phone as my username. Would that work?
We don't do a chat on the Zoom. So
Oh, I meant like in my as like my name.
Sure, you can edit it.
Great, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Alex? Alexa.
Yeah.
Sorry, Alexa.
No, you're fine. I was piggybacking on Allegra because on the back and forth when I was taking car service from Riverdale to Inwood or Manhattan on the Broadway Bridge. Just taking that car service, yes, I definitely agree how the roads were just disastrous. Like I had my seatbelt on, I'm still going like this. But yeah, I happened to see a lot of that just going because I remember being there like years ago where it wasn't terrible, but coming back, it was an absolute mess. So I definitely agree with Allegra for that point too. So I just wanted to point that out.
Okay. We're looking to explore that with Ms. Della Rosa and with MTA and seeing what we can do to enhance the transportation and communication with the community. So thank you. Is there any other raised hands? Or that just
Maria Centeno from DGC.
yes. Maria?
Hi, I'm unmuted, I think, yeah.
Yes.
Hi, so I just wanted to, I was wondering if the Summit, Step Street, letter of resolution was something that was going to be discussed tonight at the meeting or not? Because I know we presented back in July and, we got an email, and a call from our design folks saying we need a letter of resolution and, they have a milestone, date, when they have to submit all this documentation. So, I don't know, Farah, if you had an opportunity to talk to the committee.
We did.
I think you missed that.
You missed it.
Oh, I must have missed it. Okay.
Okay, yes.
When do you need it by? What's your?
Oh, as soon as possible. Because they have a timeline, and so they have to do all these submissions to the PDC, and so the letter is just, for us to confirm that we did present the project details to the community board and that you guys were at least okay with it. And I think you were. I think that was a pretty straightforward.
Yeah, we have two comments, two conditions that they're hoping you can meet.
Okay, that's fine. You can put the conditions in the letter. That's helpful for us too. So we can, because it's going to go to design, so they need to be aware of it if there were some conditions of concern. And then even with conditions, we can share it with, do you know what the conditions were?
One was, if you could just ensure that there would be more green space and there'd be no elimination.
More
of
green?
More green.
More green space.
Infrastructure or space, yeah.
And the other thing was the safety concern of the privacy with one of the, going down one of the ramps. You're able to actually look into people's apartments by the way the design appearance.
Oh, okay.
And the request screening windows.
Well, that's a tough one. Yeah, that's a tough one. But okay, I mean, we'll see what we can do. I don't know if I don't know if we can do any privacy fencing, but I mean, they could certainly look into it and see what's what, I mean, we can't touch the building or block their view. I mean, they may have an objection to blocking their view, maybe they like not having privacy. I don't know. But that's something we can look into. Yeah.
Blocked them before, so now that you're taking those down, everyone can see in there.
Yeah. No. We'll definitely look into it. I think that is a legitimate concern. And the other one was about more landscaping?
Yes, more green
Okay.
space.
Okay. I know that we're going to do a couple of tree plantings in the top and on the bottom, and I'm not sure about, maybe there might be one or two in the middle. I think because of the design being one of the first of 5 ADA accessible step streets, like the first ever in history, you know, the space is very limited, because I think, you know, the design team really did a good job with trying to make it ADA compliant, but at the same time having the steps, right? So we definitely changed the entire configuration, which is why we need the letter of resolution, because we have to go to PDC, because we totally, I mean, it's not gonna look like anything it was before. So when we do that, we have to kind of justify that. But if you do have positive things to say about the project, I mean, that's also very helpful too. So thank you.
Oh, Wi-Fi. Oh, are we
Alright,
back?
Something's
Yay.
happening.
Yeah.
Sorry, Maria.
No, it's okay.
Okay. Thank you, and we will be sending
Thank you.
a resolution.
Okay, great, thanks.
All right, so we finished there is any other new business?
Well, can you is there a final resolution that went to the board on
No, I have
this?
to write it.
Okay. But, she didn't say anything about it, what she said as soon as possible.
But we still have to do it with the board.
Yeah,
Right.
they can't wait till October 30th. What you can do is initially send the committee's resolution,
Mhm.
and then we could follow up with the full
Right,
board vote.
and yeah, make clear that it's a temporary
Temporary.
resolution, yeah,
That's fine, that's fine. Thank you.
all right, good. Oh,
Okay.
motion to
Again.
adjourn?
Second, third, yes. Thank you, everyone, for participating.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks for a great meeting, guys.
Thank you.